the founder of EconoMe. I'm also your host and MC for the weekend. And I am so thrilled that you're here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to start us this morning with a question. You see, I've been pursuing financial independence for 8 years. And for most of that time, my thoughts have been dominated by, how can I increase my income and reduce my expenses? What is my FI number? And how do I get there faster? Does this sound familiar to anyone? Okay, pretty typical questions in the FI community, right? And these are excellent questions. We will absolutely be exploring these this weekend. But the thing is, I noticed over time that my relationship with money has changed and evolved. And some new questions started bubbling up alongside these. So I'd like to invite you all this weekend to join me in mulling over some new questions. And those are, what if I didn't need more money? What if I just needed more imagination? Blasphemy. I know. The thing is, there's so many misconceptions and myths and criticisms about the FIRE movement. We've all heard them, right? But I think there's a myth that a lot of us subscribe to, and it's this idea that once I reach my magical FI number, I am all of a sudden going to start giving myself permission to live differently. Anyone here suffer from one more year syndrome? Yeah, so you guys know firsthand that that's not necessarily true. And we've got a breakout session for you tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. You see, our bank accounts and our investment portfolios can't give us that permission. We have to give that to ourselves. And that requires a shift in perspective. What that perspective shift has looked like for me is I really started looking at money as a tool. I look at it like a hammer. And in the FI community, we talk so much about how to acquire the hammer, where we're gonna store the hammer, what features the hammer has, how we're gonna protect the hammer, right? What about picking up the hammer and swinging it and building something, right? That's what this tool is for. What I've come to learn about money over these 8 years is that it's really only as valuable as your clarity on how you're going to use it and your comfort level of how much is enough. It's this clarity and comfort that helps us extract the full value out of our nest eggs. So how do we get more clarity, comfort, and imagination around our money? For me, the number one thing that has helped me expand my understanding of what's possible is tapping into this community. I'm talking about you guys. Yes, you guys have shown me that there is not one right way to pursue financial independence. There are no rules. In fact, I think the only thing that we agree on is to spend less than we earn and invest the difference, right? You all sharing your unique approaches to FI has helped me reimagine my own. So that's clarity. Comfort for me has come from the generosity in this community and sharing your knowledge about personal finance. I remember the first time I shared my numbers was at a Camp Mustache event. I put together a case study of all of my financials, and I had this list of questions that included, what do I do about tax loss harvesting? And am I optimizing enough? And did I calculate this right? And is this plan feasible? And the amount of reassurance that I got in that room gave me the comfort level to do things like start a business, quit my job 2 years ago, start exploring self-employment. You guys are amazing, Okay, so how do we tap into this amazing community? Well, the fact that you're here is a very good first step. It's hard to make friends as an adult. It is hard to come to an event with hundreds of people and put yourself out there. So I want to offer you my top 3 super effective tactics to meeting people at conferences. I've gone to a lot of events. I went to 12 last year. And so I consider myself kind of an expert on going out and meeting people, but it's hard to make friends as an adult. So these are field tested over many years. My first tactic is to find the loners. How many people came here by themselves? And I know there's tons of you. I saw the ticket sales rolling in. It was like single. Okay. I mostly go to events by myself. And one of my favorite things to do is to walk up to someone who is standing by themselves and say, I could not help but notice that you are also alone. Isn't it insane how much we have in common? Boom. Extremely effective. Okay. Now, my second tactic, equally as effective, a little bit bolder. Crash a meal. So when you are going to lunch and you're standing online, you see people in front of you with, your EconoMe lanyards, invite yourself to join them. If you're at a restaurant, you see a group of people, invite yourself to join them. I have done this. It works phenomenally well. Okay? Crash a meal. And the third one that I will offer you, we're increasing the level of boldness each time. I know the introverts are looking at me like, are you freaking nuts? Just blame it on me. Diana made me do it. That's all you gotta say. This is a game I like to call the most interesting person in the bar. It's a really fun game. I've been playing this for about 10 years. I do it by myself or when I'm with a group of people. And what we do is we scope it out and we pick someone that looks like they have an amazing story. And I walk up to them and I explain that, hey, you won. We're playing my favorite game. It's called The Most Interesting Person in the Bar, and it's you. So what I'm gonna do is go buy you a drink in exchange for a story. People are so flattered by this. I've gotten amazing stories out of playing this game. So I'll leave you with that. Now here's the thing. The reason why I share this is that there is potential to make really powerful connections this weekend, and I don't want it to slip through our fingers. As an event organizer, I actually have an easy job in that this is such a warm and friendly audience. The fact that you're all paying attention to me right now and not on your phones is incredible. Right? So my only job is to figure out ways for you to collide. And if you were at Speed Friendshipping last night, you got to experience that firsthand. But I really want to encourage you guys to just put yourself out there. And I'll just give you one example of the many amazing connections that I've made at going to these kind of events and meeting people face to face. A number of years ago, I was at World Domination Summit. Any WDSers in the room? Yes. So World Domination Summit is an incredible conference about unconventional living. It's produced by Pinky and the Brain. It's a joke. It is not. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore, but that conference actually really inspired the vision for EconoMe. I got the idea for EconoMe because I wanted to create something like World Domination Summit, but specifically about money. And I met a gentleman named Paul Millard, and he wanted to experiment in his own life with coaching, with business coaching. And so he was piloting this coaching group, and he asked for someone from the community to join. And so I raised my hand. At the time, I had this little baby idea for a conference. And Paul pushed me to take action way before I was ready. I guarantee if it wasn't for him, we would not be sitting here today because he really pushed me to not just live in my head and actually take action on some of these ideas. So it's really coming full circle for me this weekend because Paul actually donated hundreds of copies of his book for you all to read. It's an incredible book that, for me, has helped me digest some of the uncertainty of this unconventional path that we are on for FIRE. Just again, one small example of how a powerful connection can lead you on a trajectory that you wouldn't expect. So we're gonna make friends this weekend, right? That's the whole point. Are you with me? Amazing, amazing.